Back in the postgame with IceDogs head coach Krys Barch. Coach, got to be pretty pleased, obviously, with the result there. I know that last 10 minutes, Brantford was really, applying the pressure there to get that game tied. You guys weathered the storm, and then the big goal in overtime. How would you assess the team's performance tonight?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, playing Brantford, we know where they are. We know the names that they have, and for our group, again, we approach every game as an individual game. Prepare, the same for each and every opponent. So for us, a great first period. I thought we really pushed play through the second. We knew that a pushback was coming in the third, and again, for us, it's that growth perspective of, maybe 25, 30 games ago, we didn't have the 2 points in our column, and now we understand and we seal that tie and push it to overtime, obtain that one, a guaranteed one, which is huge where we are in the standings and who we're competing against. And then a great shot by Ryan Robrick in overtime to seal that second component. So.
You had a lot of chances in that first period. They just didn't go. What was the message after the first period to adjust and say, hey, keep playing this game, because you obviously scored some goals in the second period, but when you don't necessarily get the results, like, how do you get the guys just realizing that to keep going there?
Stick with the process, and they know it. It's not something that we have to tell them. They've, as a collective group, understand what it takes to put in, what it takes to invest, and what's needed for a return on your investment. So for us, they knew, and us just as a coaching staff knew that eventually the tide would turn and puck would go in the net, and we build momentum from there.
I know Chase has been here for a couple weeks now, but for him to get that goal, how big do you think that was for his confidence? And a guy that's been, fighting it a little bit since coming over here from Flint, and then getting the result tonight with a nice goal and getting you guys that 3-1 goal lead there. What did you see there, and how much do you think he's sort of improving now, being here in the system?
Great kid, and it was a nice reward for him. He's put a lot of effort in since he's been here. Always tough for a new player coming from an organization, finding his way, finding relationships, growing those relationships, working within the culture, and he's been a great addition, positive, comes to work, motivated, has a plan, and really, executes that plan, day to day. So it's nice to see him be rewarded.
Another newer player, Wang. What have you thought of him since coming over, and how do you think he's adjusting as well? And it brings a lot of different components to this lineup.
Yeah, both Chromiak and Wang, 2D additions, have been a real nice support system, a real nice stimulus for our young group to learn from. Wang, yeah, big body, very mobile. You can see why San Jose stepped up to grab him. Really efficient and high IQ on the offensive side of the puck. The ability to move pucks, the ability to transport pucks through and out of our D zone and through our neutral zone. And again, utilizing his size. Wins a puck battle down low. Ryan benefits from it and finds an open spot the way he does. And again, just kudos to the entire group. I look at Frank and what he was doing with respect to changing culture here and implementing the idea and vision that we had, and Wang and Chromiak have really fit into that model.
And then lastly, after no goals in the last two games against Sioux, and obviously in last night against Peterborough, hard-fought 1-0 loss without Patterson, how big was this confidence boosting for the group, given all the circumstances, the team you're playing against, without your top-end scorer and bouncing back after 2 games?
I think we weren't happy with the process in game versus Sioux. We were extremely happy with our game last night in Peterborough. We knew that 1-goal game that could have gone either way. We really pushed in third, very much like we saw Brantford do to us this evening.
Yeah.
But we knew that eventually, the production and the reward from the correct process was going to be there at the end. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, no worries.
Back in the postgame with IceDogs defenseman Haoxi Wang. Haoxi, got to be pretty pleased with that result tonight. The Brantford, tough team. You've gone up against them a lot back with your Oshawa days. How big was that to be able to pull out 2 points? And they kind of pressed there late in that third period, but you guys came away with the 2 points.
I think it's huge for us as a team. Obviously we took advantage of their 3-3. They were a little tired, but it is what it is. We got the 2 points. That's all that matters.
Yeah, talk about the process to get there. Head coach Krys Barch talks about the process. How comfortable are you feeling now within that system and within sort of what he's looking for you out there and the coaching staff on the defensive side of things?
I mean, it's like a learning process for me. Playing for Barchi, and he played in the National Hockey League, so how to get there. So he's been like teaching me a lot as well. And coming in, I know a lot of guys on the team, so I kind of bonded in right away, and just never looked back.
Who are some of those guys that you already had a previous relationship with when you got in this locker room?
I think Yayanov especially. I played with him when I was 14. Really funny guy, and I was roommate with him on the road trip, and it just made me feel welcome right away.
Did you and Noah Reid have a conversation after you guys went to battle in the OHL championship last season?
Oh yeah, it's definitely funny, but we just kind of laugh at it now.
Yeah, talk about how you think you've elevated this year in your game. Obviously, it was a big summer for you, getting drafted and everything like that. But now, how do you think you're trying to elevate yourself to show the Sharks that you're ready to take that next step?
I think just getting better every single day. Play a 200 feet game, just be reliable on defensively and trying to create offense at the same time. Obviously, with bigger role this year, and try to step up more and try to teach the young guys how to play the game the right way.
How did it feel now getting out on the ice for a home game? Because obviously you've been here for a couple weeks, but you've been out on the road. So what did it feel like being out in front of that crowd? And you've played here obviously against the IceDogs with Oshawa, but what did it feel like with the crowd and obviously the Cancer Run jerseys and everything like that? It was one of the better crowds tonight of the year.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the crowd was there for us. It was loud, it was engaging. So I'm really pleased with them.
Perfect. Haoxi, congrats on the win and best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.